Hey guys, welcome to another Complete Developer Raw, a live show with Will and BJ. How you guys doing? Oh, look, there we are. Awesome, awesomeness. So, hey guys, it has been a crazy just couple weeks, really. I mean, it's been wild. So, highlights. I'll give you guys the rundown, the highlights. I've been super busy. I did go and see Endgame. No spoilers. I promise I will not spoil the movie for anyone. All I will say is I laughed, I cried, I cringed. It was a Marvel movie. It was really amazing. Great, great wrap up to the whole slew of movies that they've had. So really good. If you haven't seen it, I suggest getting your tickets to see it. I scheduled to go with a group of friends tomorrow night to watch it, but I was studying Sunday and I just couldn't my brain was fried. And I looked at my phone and I was like, oh, I've got the app, and I looked up the app for the AMC and I was like, hey, they got a 10:30 show. I get out by 2. So, and it was full too. That's the thing. There's like 4 or 5 seats in there that were open. That was it. Like it was packed. Um, so I did. I saw it opening weekend, not opening night, but I went and saw it Sunday, and it was awesome. I'm still going tomorrow to see it with my friends. I was telling them at church last night that I was like, man, don't hate me, y'all, but I went and saw it, and one of the guys was like, that's all right. Jeff's already seen it 3 times.
Wow. There's always some guy named Jeff that pulls stunts like that.
Well, he and his wife went and saw it opening night, and then he was like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "Saturday, I was just sort of out, and she was at work, and I'm like, I didn't have anything to do, so I thought I'd just go see it again." I'm like, dude,
Oh, there you
like
go.
that works. Oh man. So this weekend I'm gonna be down in Huntsville. I'm driving back and forth because it's actually cheaper to drive down from where I live and back than it is to get a hotel room down there.
Yeah, I could see that because they're not cheap.
No. Um, and so that also allows me to go to the movies with my friends. So I'm going to be driving down in the morning to go to We Rocket Conf there in Huntsville. Really awesome. If you guys are in the area, they still have tickets. You should come out. I'll be speaking on Saturday about being a second career coder. Though technically, I think I'm more like a third career coder. But basically, on switching careers into software development is sort of the topic. I need to finalize my slides. I kind of put that off because I was studying this past week, so I'm gonna have to work on that tonight and tomorrow sometime. um,
Right.
yeah, a lot of stuff sort of coming to a close. We at church we do these semesters for our small groups, and we had this big project for the end of the semester for the creatives group I'm in. So I did that. Y'all, I gotta tell you, I can get up in front of people and talk, no problem. Like just give me a microphone. I'll come out and talk to anybody. You have me do a performance, which is what I did. Like I wrote sort of spoken word stuff that I had. One of my friends, he's like an amazing guitar player. He played in the background. I got up there. I'm talking to people before we got started while they're setting up. No problem. The moment he started playing, like I got nervous and jittery. Like it was crazy. And as soon as it was over with, they were asking me questions about it and stuff. I was perfectly fine. It was just like during that performance, like that I was all nervous. It was only like 5 or 6 people in there, just the people in the group. But I was like nervous for the performance. It was actually kind of exciting but crazy. So right now I am in search of a skateboard because we're filming a video Sunday where I need to have a skateboard and a blue T-shirt, and I have plenty of blue T-shirts because it's one of my favorite colors. But I no longer have a skateboard.
I was going to say, I'm kind of surprised that you don't have a skateboard floating around.
Yeah, well, I looked and I don't have a skateboard or rollerblades. I need one or the other. I was at the bargain store the other day and they had those rip sticks, which are basically like it's like two different things that move separately, and they have one wheel under each of them. Um, yeah, it was comical. I'm sure watching me try to stand on that thing.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, yeah. That's going on, and in wonderful, awesome news, like I said, I have a lot going on this past week. I am down another pant size. I have hit my goal of 2 pant sizes this year, and it's just the 1st of May.
So you need a bigger goal or a smaller
Smaller goal.
goal.
Well, the thing about it is, I mean, I'm down to the pant size. Like, they're tight, but I'm down at the pant size I was in college. I don't know that my bone structure will allow me to go much smaller.
Okay.
You know, like
I know.
the width of my hips is going to prevent that. You know, so I've got a bit of wiggle room within this size. I might be able to get down one more, but I've got some other goals. Some when I started really like uh, taking off with the weight loss, I set some personal goals of mine, which we'll see if I hit them. I'll tell you about them. How's that sound?
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. What's going on with you, man?
I have been in editing purgatory. I
Mm.
have gotten 6 chapters edited and turned those back in. And I have another half dozen. And then there's like loose, small pieces of text that have to be done. And one of the chapters has got code in it. And so I have to have it technically edited as well by somebody. And, it's like, do you have any friends that'll pay you $2 or that you'll pay $2 a page to edit this? And I'm like, none of my friends will move for anything near that cheap, you know? So I gotta figure that one out. Beyond that, of course I've been working a lot and I've been dealing a lot with temporal tables in SQL Server, like how to get historical data back out. And so like I'm pulling whole object graphs out of the database, uh, using Dapper, and I can actually say, give me this object as it was on this date, and hydrate that now. And so that's really, really cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah. So yeah, other than that, I mean, I'm just I'm just going through the slog of editing. It's not really that hard. It's just sort of it's really draining. It's like I can write 10 pages
Hmm.
easier than I can accept the edits that somebody else has done on 10 pages.
Yeah, I
Like
get that. Yeah.
yeah, so I was not expecting this to be, just as draining as it is. So
Hmm.
I'm hoping to have all of it done very, very soon. I'm pushing as hard as I can. I've got a couple other book ideas. That's the other thing. Um, so yeah, that's what's going on with me.
Awesome. Well, Josh has joined. Hey, man, what's up? Let's see. Podcast wise, we got water bottles that'll be coming out next week. Um, Normally, I like to send them the first week of the month, but this week has just been insane and hectic, and so they'll be coming out early next week. And then also, we're going to be announcing the winner of the LinkedIn Makeover. So if you guys are interested in watching that, you could still get in on that up until we actually do it by pledging $5 or more in Patreon and joining the Facebook the special Facebook group we have for that, which we do need to put some people into because we haven't done that. I've been a bit busy with
Yeah.
school and stuff, so I've kind of
And I
been.
think one of them is John Wells, who just liked the video, actually. So
Oh yeah.
yeah.
So, all right, man. Moving on to our first question.
What are some things beginner programmers don't realize they don't understand? Okay. So the first thing I would say is floating point. Thinking that you can add two numbers that are you know decimal values and necessarily get the right value just
Mm-hmm.
because you can in math. Sometimes that doesn't work so well. I would say similar things with types in general. Any typing type stuff. is probably an issue. Um, let's see, I'm trying to think what else. They probably don't understand the fastest way to code stuff. Like how to structure apps so that you do as little work as possible.
Yeah, I think that's something that comes with time and experience, and having to go back and rework a lot of things. Uh, that I would also say that they don't understand or don't realize that there's things that they don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a bit meta, but realistically, what I've seen is people come out of school or the boot camps not so much. They tend to be a little bit more humble coming out of those, just with the because they've been kind of thrown in a bunch of stuff really fast. But it's more the people coming out with a CS degree that had some programming classes in there, and they come out and they're like, oh, I know all this stuff because I've got a degree, um,
Yeah.
and they don't realize just how much more there is beyond what they were taught in school.
Right.
I mean, I'm
And what they're going to have to do with it.
yeah, like I'm going through these remedial classes for my master's, like computer science classes. I know it's not like a full CS degree, but I'm looking at what they're teaching. I'm like, yeah, I could see how someone could like take these as like two separate classes and think I know all about this. And I'm like, yeah, I having programming experience before coming into it, I'm like, man, this is like nowhere near the level that we even deal with on a simple day at work.
Yeah.
And then you get to some like really low level stuff, and you're like, we never even touched this, but
Yeah. Unless it just jumps up and hits you and then
yeah.
it's too late. I would also say that a lot of beginner programmers really have the mindset of software has to be perfect. And, that's not true at all. Like, if you can get it to work well enough, you're probably okay in a lot of circumstances. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect.
Oh yeah, I will tell you that was one of the hardest ones for me to get over.
Yeah.
That took years to get past that one. So that one was a very tough one. That's good. I like that one.
Yeah. I mean, I've got scripts I wrote like 10 years ago that are still in use that leak memory like a sieve. And nobody cares because they run and then they stop
Yeah.
and the memory's released then. So who cares?
Mm-hmm. It gets the job done.
Yep.
All right. Moving on to our next question. What is the most confusing piece of code you have ever seen? So my experience is nowhere near as extensive as Will's in confusing code. Some of the stuff that he showed me has been confusing, and I've asked, "Why are you doing it that way instead of this way?" And he was like, "Because I didn't know that way was possible because it wasn't a year ago."
Yeah.
There's been a couple of conversations we've had like that. Honestly, today I looked back at some code I wrote about 2 months ago, and I was debugging it, and I'm going, "Why in the world?" Because uh, let me explain this. I had to compare the first digit of an integer, uh, a 7-digit integer, to another integer, like single digit. Like I had to like say, all right, is this 0 through 9? Does it match up? And that's real easy to do in the object oriented world of C sharp, where you just like the simple way for me to do it would be like, all right, two string dot first, and then compare it to the other one. Um, but I was doing this in a where clause that in LINQ that was being translated to SQL by an ORM that was going to the database in a select statement for a search. Um, yeah, that does not translate at all. So I had to like get creative with it. And like I it took me a while to even figure out why I did it the way I did it. And then when I did, I was like, wow, that was really really creative of me back then. I'm proud of myself from 2 months ago. Uh, but uh, eventually I had to actually go up a level to what was calling that and change the order that it was calling it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like I spent all day working on this one little problem, um, but I actually ended up optimizing it quite a bit inadvertently. So, dude,
Yeah.
how about you? What's the most confusing piece of code you've seen?
I've seen SQL code that was string manipulation that wrote C sharp code it was like it was emitting C sharp code and running it dynamically. Like it was getting queried and then like a host process was running that. Um, I just honestly acted like I didn't see it and didn't know that it existed and just went on with my life because I figured whoever's problem that was, I didn't want to know about it. Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
like walking by an alley and people are wearing masks in the alley. You just kind
Hmm.
of you just go on.
Yep.
So,
All right. Moving on to the last question.
what separates truly experienced programmers from those who are only faking? Usually really harsh experience. Just like running into
Hmm.
stuff like that. And, when I was a junior coder, I probably would have been like, oh, we got to fix this. This is garbage. We need a templating library. And I was like upper mid at that point, and I was just like, there's no way I'm touching that because then it'll be associated with me and it'll be stuck on me. Like once you've had those kind of experiences, now you're experienced.
Hmm. Yeah. I totally believe that. Um, Kind of had a little bit of a theme with these questions, mainly because I got them all from the same Quora email. I was in a bit of a hurry today, guys. It's been a week. To be honest with you, it's been about 2 to 3 weeks of just craziness. So just with the whole like
Okay.
everything coming to a close and trying to like deal with that plus you know, I'm sure Will's experienced this, especially with having a family. Of it's nice out, and so everything gets planned for like the last 2 weeks of April because it's finally nice out, and so everybody wants to get outside and do stuff. And you're like,
Like 3 days.
yeah, I'm like, I still have a lot of work to do, you know. So, anyways, it's been crazy, but we're making it, guys. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments for us. I do try to check those first. Most times, I don't really see that many from people watching after the fact. So, leave us a question there. Send us an email, however you want to. We will try to answer your questions either here or in an episode. Um, so coming up next week, we've got talking about school. We got an episode on compilers. Will wrote this one though, though it was I had a whole section of my class on compilers this semester. So if you're a developer using a compiled language, your craft depends on your compiler. Computers are not capable of natively understanding any of your code. Instead, the machine must be told what to do in a way that it understands. Depending on your language and platform, to do this, you may find yourself relying on either a compiler or an interpreter. In the episode, we talk a little bit about how compilers work. While you can be a reasonably successful developer even without understanding it, if you really want to become highly skilled, you need a deeper knowledge of the tools and things that you're working in. And what this episode does is it creates a starting point or groundwork for that. So that's coming out next Thursday. Check it out. It was a really fun episode to record. Um, a lot more stories than I expected to be told during such a technical episode. So it's pretty good. Guys, we're gonna hop off here. Thank y'all for watching and participating, and we will catch y'all next week.